I'm in the middle of 16 book series. That's a lot of series. And if you're new here, this is a video series where I work on trying to finish every single book series I'm in the middle of. And this is it. This is every single one, broken down by genre. And in my last episode of this series, I also started that video in the middle of 16 book series. I swear I'm cursed with just perpetually being in the middle of 16 book series forever and ever. But to recap, in the last episode, I finished 3 entire book series, and then I did start 2 book series since then. In my defense, I was making a video on reading the most popular books of 2025, and that's how I started Red Rising and Shield of Sparrows. And then Sarah J. Maas announced there's going to be more books in the ACOTAR series, so now it's back on the list, and that's brought us up to 16 book series again. The majority of the series I'm in the middle of are fantasy. I did include Red Rising because it's the only sci-fi series, and I don't have a sci-fi genre marker. I feel like it's close enough to fantasy. So in this video, I want to focus on all of the fantasy series I'm in the middle of. And I think I want to start with one that once I read this one book, I can immediately cross this entire series off my list, and that's the Letters of Enchantment series. This is a prequel, and I actually have plans today to meet up with my friend Jordan. We're gonna go book shopping and get lunch and sit and read. So that is the perfect time to start this book. Then I also need to buy another book from a series that I want to continue. So let's go to the bookstore. The sun is just now starting to come out, but it was raining all morning, which was so perfect. The rain just fits the mood of this book so perfectly. Oh, let me show you what I got at the bookstore. I got Morning Star. This is the 3rd book in the Red Rising series. I'm so excited because the way book 2 ended was insane. And then I also got these candles. They are flower birthday candles. My birthday is in about a month. I don't know what I'm planning to do for the cake, but I thought it'd be really cute to do some kind of like girly, like garden fairy vibe cake. And then in Wild Reverence, I am now on page 196. This book is so good. It's so good, which I thought it would be good because I loved Divine Rivals, but I don't think I expected it to be this good. Like, I might be liking it more than the main duology so far. But yeah, the plot is so unique. Basically, we have Matilda, she's our main character, and she's a goddess. She's a messenger goddess. And then there's a mortal named Vincent, and he dreams of her, even though he's never met her. And then she's friends with the goddess of dreams, and she reads his dreams. There's like dream scrolls, and just the way the magic with the dreams works is really cool. The way the godly world and like politics play out is really cool. Everything, all the descriptions are so atmospheric. There's also this trope that we just got that I also didn't expect, and it's one of my favorite tropes ever that I haven't read in a really long time. So I'm really, really excited. I also just realized the cover of this book matches my blanket so perfectly. I also think I'm gonna set a 1-hour reading timer. Jordan showed me this timer app. We were at the bookstore. Basically, when you start it, there's a little cat that jumps up on the chair, and it's just really adorable, and then he meows whenever the timer's up, and it blocks all your apps while the timer's going. I don't know why, but I feel like I've had the worst attention span in my entire life this year. Like, I've just been reading so slowly, or just less books than normal, because I keep getting so distracted, and it's so annoying. So I'm like, hopefully this will help some, because I can't even open my apps if I wanted to. The timer just went off and I read page 228, so I think that was 32 pages in the last hour. I think that's very typical of my reading speed, and everything is going wrong now and I'm stressed. The way Rebecca Ross is so brilliant and torturous at keeping the characters apart, it hurts, but also I'm like now obsessed, like just want to keep reading. I feel like it's gonna be 5 stars. I can't see a world in which it's not, but I'm not even halfway, so a little premature to say that. I think I'm gonna pause reading for the day now because Dana and I are gonna go out for an early dinner. We've been loving going to a ton of happy hours, and I just looked it up, and if I rate Wild Reverence 5 stars, it will be my 5th 5-star read of the year, which I feel like is really good considering we're not that far into the year. And I've been keeping track of so many bookish things, like all of my 5-star reads on Things Book, and Things Book has very kindly sponsored today's video. It's basically a social app related to anything and everything you love. You can share book reviews, movie reviews, your favorite restaurants, recipes, use it like a journal, you name it, you can share so many things. and you can share them in collections. I love that it's one place for me to keep track of everything I love. And posting is really easy. You can add a note, a photo, a video, and add it to any of your collections. And I have so many fun collections. One of my favorites is underrated books. These are books that I think deserve so much hype. I also have a collection for my 5-star read so far this year. I have another one for books I think everyone would love. And I love that in the book collections, you can scroll through the actual book spines. It feels like a digital bookshelf. I also just started a collection for cozy hobbies. And then I also want to start a new collection for restaurants. I feel like that would be such a cool digital journey of all the restaurants that Danny and I have gone to every single week this year. And there's a tab where you can scroll through everything that everyone else has shared so you can find even more things you love. So if you love saving things, keeping track of the things you love and sharing them with others, you can download Things Book by clicking the link in my bio. I'll also have my 5-star book collection linked in the description, so you guys can follow me on Things Book and see all of my favorite books. I have so many great book recs on my profile. And I have a feeling by the end of this video, Wild Reverence and maybe more books will be added to my 5-star reads so far this year. Today was a great day. It started off with Danny and I doing a little breakfast date. We're big breakfast people. And then we went to Book People, which is the largest independent bookstore in Texas, and got Dune. Danny has been really wanting to start a new book. I have been debating reading Dune. It intimidates me, but I'm excited for him to read it so then he can tell me if he thinks I would like it. And then I also spotted a Rebecca Ross book and it was gorgeous. I also spotted Shield of Sparrows, a book I love, and the next book is coming out in just a few days. And that brings us back to my apartment. I'm currently on page 274 of Wild Reverence. I love it so much. It follows Matilda over such a span of time. It starts when she's born. I just think that's so cool. I feel like it's kind of rare in books that I read covering many years, let alone like all of the characters' life that they've lived so far. It just makes me so much more invested in them, and our experiences affect us so much in relationships, conflicts with others. Just connecting all the dots of her own story is really cool. And now, today, Danny and I are going to Dallas to visit his family. We're gonna spend the weekend with his family, and we leave in 2 hours, and I have kind of a lot to do before we leave. I need to pack. I need to finish filming this sponsored TikTok for Book of the Month. Also want to paint my nails. They are very chipped right now. I saw this nail hack on TikTok using eyeshadow to make cool nails. So kind of want to try that. So I'm gonna switch to the audiobook while completing this checklist. Okay, to-do list, checklist, montage in 3, 2, 1, let's do it. You basically just take eyeshadow, put it on your nails to create this kind of multicolored or ombre effect, and it did not work at all. It just didn't show up at all. So I removed that nail polish and then ran out of time and ended up just not painting my nails at all. We're just gonna check it off though, because I'm not finishing that task. And your mom made these? Mm-hmm. It's the pizza scones? Mm-hmm. The best ones. Like just over 100 pages left. We are visiting Danny's family and they live in this really cool old 1800s home. His parents have done so much work, like antiquing and building things that would be authentic to this time period. And it's just so cool, like walking in every single room. I love all like the old wallpaper. I think this is my favorite room because it has so many windows and just so many like little details. Like I can stand in every corner every time I come and find some little decor piece that I've never seen before. Over the weekend, I finished Wild Reverence, and I'm gonna say 5 stars. So beautifully written, so atmospheric. I love the characters. And there were so many surprising moments too. And then, oh my gosh, the ending. The ending sets up divine rivals in a really cool way. Because I was wondering, I was like, Wild Reverence is definitely for the majority just connected to the main duology in that it has like all the history of the gods and the goddesses and the world, but it doesn't really directly tie in with these characters until the very, very end. So that was cool to see. And as far as like the reading order, this one can be read as a standalone. So if you're not interested in divine rivals, you could just read this one. If you're gonna read all of them, I would read Wild Reverence first. It is like a prequel of the world. And I can now cross this one off my list, although I do have to tell you guys, I did realize this morning that I did start the Murderbot Diaries series in December, which I forgot about. I completely forgot to put on my list. So I can cross the Letters of Enchantment series off my list, but I have to add the Murderbot Diaries because I forgot to earlier. So I am still in the middle of 16 book series. Again, 16 book series, it's like a curse. I can't escape it. This is how it happens too, because like this series, my friend recommended to me. She was spending a few days with me at my apartment in Austin and she brought some books and she was like, oh, I love this book. You have to read it. It's super short. You can read it super quick. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. I really liked it. It is super short, but it is the first book in an 8-book series. No regrets though. I love Murderbot. And then over the weekend, I started Morning Star. This is the third book in the Red Rising series. This series was originally a trilogy, so I believe I could stop after this book. Like the plot ends in a satisfying way after this book, but there are 6 books out right now and then a 7th book that's going to be coming out. And I can't imagine I want to stop after this book. Like, I love this series so much so far that I'm, you know, 95% sure I'm gonna want to read the whole series. But hypothetically, if I read this one and I'm like, I'm good, I could cross it off my list. And my friend describes this series as the first book being Hunger Games in space and then the rest of the series being Game of Thrones in space. And I feel like that's a perfect description and such an epic description that it deserves. Started on Sunday, it's now Tuesday, and I'm on page 190 and I really love it. I could see this one being my favorite so far in the series. By book 3, I'm so invested in all the characters in the world, and we're at such like an epic and dangerous time where pretty much like all out war is kind of already happening / like just going to grow stronger and stronger. I'm surprised how much I love the politics, the fighting. Darrow, our main character, is so cunning. He's kind of alone, even with friends around him, because they're very complicated, precarious relationships. My favorite characters, number 1, Mustang, 2, Darrow, main character, and then 3, Severo, very scrappy guy. We just had a really sad thing happen. Death is kind of constant in this series. They're at war, it's sci-fi. And at this point I know just to expect the unexpected, expect that no character is safe from death, but I don't know why. I just still didn't expect it. Like this character specifically, I love. And I just thought they were gonna make it to the end. I never considered that they wouldn't. Almost I'm just waiting to turn a page and then come back to life, even though I know that's not gonna happen. And I think now I'm gonna switch to the audiobook and do some coloring. This series has a really cool graphic audiobook for every single book. And I feel like it's so cool and immersive to listen to. Guys, I'm sad. I'm on page 430, so I think I have like, I think exactly 100 pages left, I want to say, and this book is it's so hard. I'm so sad reading it. Everything feels so hopeless. The reality of war is so horrifying. Even the good side has to do terrible things to win, and like that hurts. That hurts so much more than the bad side doing bad things. But it's like Darrow, I've said this before, but throughout the whole series, he is the epitome of the walking human version of the trolley problem. Like every decision he makes in books 1 and 2 have consequences, but typically unintended consequences. Like say they're gonna go rescue somebody who's been captured. Like I'm just making this up, but like say one of their friends has been captured and they're gonna go rescue them. It's like one of them could die because that's a dangerous mission, but obviously they don't plan for any of them to die. But by this point in the book, we're not dealing with just like small group decisions. Again, a whole war. It's like thousands, millions of people involved. So a decision might be like, do we blow up the enemy ship even though there are 1,000 innocent people on it to hurt the enemy, but we kill all those innocent people? I'm stressed. I'm so stressed. Also, it is too bright in here. I'm feeling too gloomy for the sun to be out right now. I think I'm gonna close all the blinds and pretend I'm in a cave of darkness while I finish in sadness. I want to scream. I want to scream. Pierce Brown deserves prison because this book is so painful. And if what I've just read is true, no, like I actually don't know how I'm going to keep reading. I want to be so sad. Every time something sad happens, I feel like I don't even cry because I'm just in shock. I'm like, surely the next page is going to be like, just kidding, but that never happens. I don't think you understand. Like if what I just read is true, I know I'm being a broken record, this will be the saddest moment of the entire series so far to me, which is saying a lot. Literally 1 page later, and it says, I cry out in horror at the bleak evil I feel in the world, overwhelmed by this darkness and the hate and the helplessness. That's how I feel. I literally feel sick to my stomach at what's happening. I have finished the book. I'm trying to collect my thoughts because the ending was absolutely insane. Whenever I was like peak crying, peak upset, I went out in the living room and was ranting to Danny. Thank you to him for listening to me. And I was like, can we go find Pierce Brown and arrest him because he deserves life in prison for complete and utter emotional devastation. Well, now that I finished the book, I will let Pierce Brown out of prison. He can rejoin society, but he's still on my watch list because the extreme emotional whiplash of this book insane. He's brilliant, but he has given me a huge book hangover. I literally don't even know what my thoughts are, and my head hurt. It was so good. It was literally so good. Like 7 out of 5 stars. Like, can I break the scale? Not even just 6 out of 5, but 7 out of 5 stars? Is that allowed? I don't know, but I'm doing it. Roller coaster. Of course, I'm gonna read the rest of the series. So now there's 3 books left in the series that are out, and then Red God, which by the way, the most epic name, is the 7th book, which I don't think has an actual release date right now. I'm so excited to keep reading the series. See you guys when my book hangover has subsided a little bit. It's a few days later. It's a few days later. I have recovered from my book hangover from Morningstar. Still so good. I'm so thankful for Fable. This is so random. This is not sponsored by Fable at all, but on Fable you can search up specific books and then find book clubs reading that book. And I all weekend was in all the book clubs, like reading everyone's thoughts on every chapter. Reading everyone else's thoughts like got me through that book. And a little shameless self-promo, but I also have my own book club on Fable if you guys ever want to join. Again, not sponsored. I just really love it. It's so fun. It's completely free. We're reading The Night We Met right now. That's another book, very conflicting thoughts on. I've been reading like a chapter a day for the book club, and it's so nice to read it with you guys. And we have over 40,000 people in the book club now, which is so cool. Like, I'm so proud of it. It's such a cool community. If you ever want to join, it's always linked in the description on every single one of my videos. Anyway, on to the next book and the next series to continue. For A Touch of Chaos and the Atlas Paradox, I started these series so long ago that part of me wants to DNF these series just because I kind of don't care anymore. Like, it's been way too long since I read the first books. I just kind of lost interest, but I'm not going to do that. I think once I pick these back up, I will re-get into them. I just have to find the motivation to do that. And today will not be that day because I actually started Curse of the Wolf King over the weekend. I did not mean to get this far into this book without updating you guys. Over the weekend, I had a bunch of like errands and chores to do. So I was like, oh, I'll just listen to a few chapters of the audiobook while I do some chores. And I'm now over 50% of the way through the book. So my goal today is to finish this book. I think I have like 200 pages left. It's a pretty easy read, so I'm hopeful I can do that. And then, if possible, I would also like to read all of Artificial Condition today as well. Also a pretty easy read, but I am a very slow reader. So will this goal be accomplished? Probably not, but I like to dream big. I love a challenge. So that's my goal for today. This book is Curse of the Wolf King. It's part of the Entangled with Fae series. It's actually the first book in the series. I read them out of order on accident. I already read books 2 and 3, which isn't like the end of the world because they are all interconnected standalone books. And they're all fairy tale retellings. Books 2 and 3 were so cute. This book is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Book 2 is Cinderella retelling. And then book 3 was a Little Mermaid retelling. And they all have some kind of like fae fantasy twist. So in this book, instead of him just being a beast, he's fae and he can turn into a wolf. And so far, it's so fun. It's been so fun reading this book. It's made me feel kind of nostalgic reading this book. I would say so far it's kind of giving me like 3.5 stars. Not because there's anything I dislike, it's just a little more like light and fun. But I feel like when I very first got back into reading as an adult like 3-4 years ago, this was like peak what I loved at that time. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. I feel like I'm kind of going back in time to my perfect reading taste from a few years ago. And I still do enjoy books like this now, but I've just noticed more recently that I'm kind of gravitating towards different books. I feel like I don't quite know what my reading taste fully is at the moment. The other thing too, this year, I've completed so many less books so far than in previous years. I don't know if anyone else is on the same journey, and I've been like, why am I reading so much slower? Like, I still love reading. Like, why am I finishing less books? And once I picked up this book, I was like, oh, maybe the reason why is I think I'm just reading a little more dense books. Like this book I have been flying through. It's so easy to binge versus like Morningstar, a longer book page count wise, and also just like a more dense book, heavier themes that I was really staring off into space, contemplating the morality of war at so many points. This book, different vibes, just so fun, easy to binge. It is much later. I think it's almost midnight and I'm on page 340, so almost done. My grand reading plans to read all of this book and the Murderbot Diaries, book 2, foiled. I got like very distracted by Dan and I went out to like a nice dinner, and then I completely forgot me and my friends had a whole FaceTime call planned to plan a trip we're doing this summer to Colorado. Me and my college roommates do a trip every single summer together, so that's for this year's trip. So just got off that planning call, but so far I'm really liking it. Like I was saying, like Like, it's not like this earth-shatteringly amazing book. Like, objectively, like, it's kind of cheesy, but it's just like so fun, and the main characters together are so cute. And then I just love fairy tale retellings. Like, I know I've seen the fairy tales, but I don't read fairy tale retellings that often, so they always feel so unique to me. And definitely the conflict is very unique. Like, the way this book with like the rose petal and the curse on him as like the beast works, I have no idea like how it's gonna end, even though I'm familiar with the actual fairy tale. I finished Curse of the Wolf King. It was really cute. The ending had a fun twist. It also talked a lot throughout the book. I don't know if it said what exact time period it's set in, but it's definitely like 1800s Bridgerton vibe time period, and it touches a lot on so many women's issues of the time around marriage, around autonomy, and having to be like pure and follow society standards, and just really fighting against those things. And I really loved that. Overall, I think I'm gonna say probably 3.5 stars. It was just honestly exactly what I was in the mood for when I picked it up. And then now let's read the second book in the Murderbot Diaries series. This series is sci-fi and it follows Murderbot. Murderbot is a robot that becomes sentient in book 1. And the first book in this series was such a cool blend of like actual like high stakes sci-fi, like dangerous missions in space, but then Murderbot itself is very kind of adorable inner monologue, very wholesome. Murderbot loves like watching TV. I don't know, like it has a very cozy feel as a book while still, like I said, keeping the high stakes sci-fi elements. Very excited to be back in Murderbot's internal monologue. Amazing. Wow, epic. I spotted Danny starting down. I'm so excited. He's literally on the first page. I just hit the halfway point. Ugh, I love Murderbot. It has a past that it only partially remembers. So this book, it is going to kind of investigate and learn more about its past. So I love that we're gonna hopefully get more answers on Murderbot's lore and history. And it's interesting kind of thinking about its human versus robotness, especially in this book. I finished the book. This book was really fun to read. I think I'm gonna say 3.5 stars for this one as well. I think I like the first one a bit more. I think in book 1, I loved the humans. In this one, the little adventure that Murderbot goes on, I shouldn't care really at all about the humans. It's more just fun to read about their story, but I wasn't really like emotionally invested in the humans. But I still love Murderbot so much. It's such an awkward, TV-loving little robot. I just love Murderbot. And in this book, Murderbot meets other robots that it becomes friends with, and I love that so much. Love art. So I hope that Murderbot's new friends come into play in the future books, and I hope the humans in book 1 become a big part of the series again, because I loved them a lot. Very quick-paced series, and that's the other reason too why it's not like 5 stars amazing to me, even though I do like it, is the books 1 and 2 are both like 150 pages. I feel like you can't get super in depth with characters and plot when a book is that short. But made progress in 3 series in this video, and then fully completed 1 series. So not super satisfying because I could only cross 1 full one off my list, but we made a lot of progress. Even with that progress, I am still in the middle of 16 book series though, because if you remember, I did forget to add this one to my list until partway through this video. Again, cursed with the number 16. We'll definitely have to do another episode of finishing every series I'm in the middle of. And I love to kind of do like a little twist on each episode. Like this one was all fantasy and sci-fi, so if there's any other kind of twists you'd want to see for a future episode, let me know. Oh, and we had 2 5 stars in this video. I need to add those to my things book collection as well. I think next I'm gonna film a video on cozy hobbies. Another thing I would love y'all's feedback on, do you like cozy hobby videos? I've done 2 before and I really liked making them, so I'd love to do more if you guys like to watch them. With that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!